Navigating new technology.
Hey guys and gals, what is good? What is good today? Hello. Appreciate you stopping by. Turn it up. Let's go. You know I love that. When you drop on by. Let's go, guys, gals, brothers, sisters, you beautiful, intelligent people. Let's go. Excuse me, lurkers and twerkers, sandwich making workers. Let's go. Viewers, you guys dropping by. Those of you hitting the play button, let's go. I can't say it enough. I cannot say it enough. Turn it up, you guys. Okay, have I got all my mod stuff done? Dunzes? I hope so. I don't know. Maybe I do. Drop in some more quotes. You know, quotes are good. Some motivational stuff. That's right. Keep you motivated, right? You gotta want something, guys, gals. You gotta desire it. Okay? You can't give up on yourself. You gotta get up, even if you fall down on your face. Even if it hurts, get the back up. That's my supportive love, guys, gals. That's how we grew up. Okay? Right on. It's great to have you. Let's go. Turn it up. Quick shout outs. Let's get going. I think we're done with that. Here's another good quote. Again, you guys, gals, need to be part of the stream if you want to see all the excitement and chat. Let's go. Okay, but it's great to have you, even if you cannot to make it. Okay, I understand life. You're probably hard-working individual working somewhere. You're either working hard or you're hardly working. Which one is it? Let's go. All right, but either way, it's great to have you. Even if you're at home now after work and you're hitting the play button, that is great. Right now, my thinking, guys and gals, okay, my thoughts, feelings, and, my thinkings, if that's a word, those that are hitting the play button most likely are the ones that like to learn, okay? Things. People that love learning. Okay? Yeah, that's what I feel. And yeah, right off the top of my head, that tells me right now that you guys, gals, are beautiful, intelligent people that love learning. Doesn't matter who you are, which side of the road you're on. It doesn't matter. You love learning. That is great. That is great. It says a lot about you to myself, about your character. Okay? You are worthy of the golden sandwich. Yes, you are. Let's go. That was fun to say. Where's that other? Is that in this one? I have this other saying about sandwiches. Because, that's all I live off of is sandwiches. So it seems, yes, good old sandwiches. Man, I get too many words, too many letters. I'm trying to find where that is. I drop it in chat usually, but this one's kind of funny to say. If I can't find it, I'm trying to hurry so I don't waste a lot of time. Of course, guys, gals, I got too many documents and they're long. They have lots of characters. This has to be the document. All right, I was gonna paste in chat the music that's being played as well, in case you were curious about that. There it is on the old YouTubes. Let's go. Come on, please. Where are you? Where are you? It's great to have you. How's your day going? Thank you in chat for being here and supporting the channel, the content. This mod stuff, I know, guys. Sheesh. Why? Like, when I'm pasting it into chat, I have no problems finding it. If I don't find it shortly, I'm just gonna kind of rack it. But I wonder if it's in my funny one. Unless it's further down here. Wow factor. Okay, wow. I hope I didn't scroll right past it. It's got to be in here. Please tell me it's in here. Please tell me it's in here. Ah, there it is. I'm glad I don't have to hunt for my own food. I have no idea where sandwiches live. I know it's corny. Dad jokes. But it's to get a laugh, guys and gals. World needs more humor, I think. All right, let's do quick shout outs. Figure I'd just chat with you a little bit. Thank goodness I have it in my funny things to say WordPad document. Ha! Joke's on you, Microsoft. I still have WordPad. Ha! I do that annoying stuff just to, yeah, that's deliberate, guys, okay? It's supposed to be funny. Guys, gals, you know, it's great having you drop by. I know the beginning of the streams are kind of like, right? It's kind of like that annoying beep sound. You know, that ear-piercing sound? It's kind of like that. Yeah, I know. It's okay, it's okay. If you want to get straight to the content, which is great, you're not hurting my feelings, because that shows to me that you just want to get right to learning. Right to learning. And that is great. Truly is. So, obviously live on Twitch, it's kind of hard to do. On Twitch, when I publish it, really all you can do is kind of just skip forward, I guess. Click the play line bar. Is that what it's called? I don't know. Let's just call it that. On YouTube's, I usually put a timestamp in comments, you know, where you can kind of jump in. It's just kind of a guess, but here you go. Start here. Again, it's great to have you. If you hit the old timestamp, or you clicked forward on the play line bar, welcome to the future. Welcome to the future. To the future. I like doing that too because it's fun. All right, let's go, guys. We're going to get the shout-outs done and we're going to get right to learning. Shouty outies time. It's shouty outies time. Let's turn it up for you, brothers, sisters, fam. Whether you're here on Twitch or on YouTube land, appreciate you all. You know I do, guys. Why else would I say it 10 million thousand times? You think I like saying the same thing all the time? All the humanity! All right, let's go. Throwing it out there for Nicole Trey 66. Much love. Bart number 1. Barty, you number 1. Let's go. Turn that up. Jim Jam 1238. Kazert 20. Gavin 555. My guy Kamikaze, I hope you're doing well, brother. Kamikaze ML. Let's go. And we got to throw it out there. We have to do this. This is a must do every time. Let's go. Turn it up for. The volume. You're killing me. You're killing me, volume. Let's go. Turn it up for iDucky. Continuing on. Wicked stat. Let's go. Con Papa's 9. Slow motions. Turn it up. I love that. And Amir Hassan 23. Welcome. Continuing on. Nap. Vision with a $. Brother. Let's go, mi amigo. Peter N. Welcome, welcome. Caesar Rojas. Welcome to mi amigo. Tech Dave 99. All right. WX87. Flawless Hack. Salt of the Earth Ministry. Blessed Brother. And Yahweh. Welcome, guys. And like usual, I'll throw in the old yerp. Because why not? All right, let's go. Okay, that's done. Okay, let's do this, and that. And let's do this, and this. Click that. Do this, click this. Mod stuff, guys. I do have to check the stream quickly. I like to feel we're good. Hopefully we are. Turn it up. Let's go. All right. That's my fam in the background, throwing the love, throwing it out there for you brothers and sisters supporting Johnny, Whiskey Tango, Sharp Coding. Thank you for the views, guys. Whoever you are, wherever you are, you know I appreciate it 100%. Again, it's you guys, gals that keeps this going. You guys and gals, it's you, right? And I'm enjoying doing this for you as well. I truly am. If I could help you learn a language, maybe the language was difficult and challenging and maybe frustrating, who knows? If I could help you, that is the goal. Okay, so we've done that. Let me check the stream quickly. I'm my own mod here, guys, so what's up? What is the goal? Get muted. What the heck? Knock to ask Merc Twitch to collaborate. What? We're not collaborating? What the California? Oh no. Oh, the humanity. Oh no, guys. We're at 12 fluid ounces of coffee. No bueno. Don't forget, you guys and gals, if you like, you can buy me a coffee. Yeah, that'd be great. You don't want to be around me when I don't have coffee. Trust me. Coffee makes the motors rotate with this guy. Must have coffee. Again, I don't do anything else, guys. What do you guys and gals do to alleviate stress or to minimize the feeling of stress? I don't do drugs, I don't drink, and I don't smoke. I mean, not to say I've never done any of those things, because I have when I was, Anyways, let us continue. We must continue. It's time to throw on the old thinking cap, guys and gals. Time to throw on the old thinking cap. It's time to learn. Flick the old switch and the old brainium cranium. Let's go. Turn it up. Okay. We are going to continue. We're continuing from yesterday, obviously. And so we're working on, we're doing functions still, right? We're doing functions, but we're also getting a wrap in our minds. We're wrapping it up in our minds. What's the difference between a local and global variable? What happens with a local variable and a function and all those sort of things? Okay, so yesterday we created a function, swap values. Oh my god, Leave me alone. They called back twice. It must be important. Unless you got some dinero, then don't talk to me. While you're at it, bring me a coffee and a sandwich. Okay. So yesterday I get one thing that really bugs me and irks me is being bothered or distracted. It throws me off and then throws my focus off. I dislike that. I dislike it. Get an elbow drop. Well, yeah, and if you really deserve it, maybe you get a couple elbow drops. Leave me alone. You won't get any elbow drops if you bring coffee and sandwiches, though. That'll fix me up real quick. Just kidding, guys. Just kidding. Why so serious? Oh, my God. Or am I? Let's go. Okay. So we're working on this function, a swap function. Remember, I promised you guys and gals I would show you how to swap values with a temp variable. It's kind of the easy one, right? It's pretty easy to do, right? So we created our function prototype, and then we've created also our declaration. Blah, blah, blah. Up top is our declaration. This is our definition, okay? And this is basically the code for, swapping it out. You don't really need these. Normally when you create a function, that's all you're going to have, guys and gals. That's it. Okay? That is it. All right, but I'll put all that back. Really, these lines of code here are just so you can see the results, right? You can see what's happening. What kind of magic is happening between the curly brackets, right? Because essentially that's where, everything you're writing here is your block of code, right? So this function has its own internal magic, right? Okay, and then we have to obviously call the function. Created a couple of new variables up here. We've initialized them, some random values. We can change the values here. This is called hard coding, guys and gals. So yeah, there we go. So we're printing also in the int main to see, what kind of results are we going to expect when we run this, right? So these lines here, they're basically like testing, right? You could do these sort of things, and then you get a visual of, well, what's it doing? What kind of results am I going to get, right? This is all part of the learning, and it's great. Okay, so going over that, so as you figured out, the values passed in the swap function are passed by value, okay? You'll know passed by value, and the way to tell, guys and gals, okay, we're gonna get into it. I really haven't talked about it much. There's this concept called pointers and referencing or references. Okay, passing by reference, passing by pointer reference, those sort of things. If you don't see symbols that look like an asterisk, that's an asterisk and an ampersand, right? If you don't see that with the, of course it would be with both of them, right? If you don't see these symbols associated with the data type, then you can instantly infer that this is passing by, passing by value, okay? Passing by value makes copies, okay, guys? And copies are actually not good. When you write code, you really want to learn how to, and that's not to get into too much detail, but that's what the passing by reference and passing by pointer does. It's a way to avoid creating copies, right? Because it's more information on your memory. Everything takes time, right? Of course, computers nowadays, they're pretty fast, even laptops and maybe even smart devices and that. I don't know. I'm a PC thinking person, so my brain says PC is like kills anything that's out there, literally. Especially, you know, if we get into talking about cooling systems and all those sort of things. It's just, I don't want to use the word superior, but, you know, everything else is just a little hot box in my mind, right? Anyways, it all still works. That's why it's popular, because of the mobility. That's the only reason it wins. It's pretty hard to carry around your 80-pound EATX PC case wherever you go. I mean, you could, I guess. Anyways, let's carry on. Should we do that? Yeah, let's do that anyways. Why not? All right. I like to do that now. I take advantage of a quick coffee drink. Okay. All right. Let's continue. All right, so pass by value, right? That's what we've been talking about. Okay, we're still on track here, guys. All right, it's great to have you. It truly is. Thank you for being here and following along. I can't say it enough. Let's see. Okay, and then the pass by value, meaning that copies of the values are made that are local to the swap function. Okay. Copies are made, right? If you look, right, these also have to be put on this. I mean, obviously it's running through, when you're running it, this function will be kind of accessed. These also have to be created in memory too, as well, guys and gals, okay? They're their own individual variables, right? So it's another variable in memory. So again, referencing and pointers, what's the right word? I almost had it on the tip of my tongue. Not mitigate. Anyways, you kind of get the idea, right? It omits making those copies, right? All right, but we'll do that kind of stuff, all right? Coming soon, guys, gals. Okay, so these local variables are swapped, right? In using this is the swap section, right? But the variables back in main are unaffected, right? So, right, it doesn't get carried into and updated up here. Okay, we're passing in these values, yes. They're going into the function, yes. But they're not being spit back out and updating these, right? That's passing by value, right? Again, there are different variables as well. That's kind of not a great argument, or not really an argument, but it's not really a great description, because it doesn't matter if they're a different variable. You can still, with passing by pointer and passing by reference, you can still have the different variables and still mitigate, I don't know, negate having copies made, okay? All right, global variables. Let's continue with the lesson plan. All right, did I give you guys the definition of function, really? I think I've gone over a function lots. I've kind of have some, just in my this document I've been slowly building over the last however many years. I don't think I shared this information with you guys and gals. I'm not going to read it. If you want to kind of pause and read through it, this is information for you. I do have this on GitHub. You could ! GitHub on Twitch for that link. I believe in YouTube in the description, body description of each video, there's a link to the GitHub. I have this I kind of do GitHub not the normal way that it should be used, but I figure, how else can I share this information with you guys and gals, right? It's kind of like technical reading. There are some examples and such, as you can see, but for the most part, it's more informational, right? Let's say you kind of forget a certain area. I'm trying to cover all the areas, right? So it's kind of like a quick, that's the book I kind of want to put together. Eventually you're going to need an editor, but I am putting it all together, and maybe eventually come to fruition 1 year, hard to say, but there it is. Okay, and I've been slowly sharing it on GitHub. It's not all there. Again, if I share it all, then what's the sense of creating a book, to be honest? Right? You're getting kind of like the teasers of it, but there's a lot of information there on GitHub. Okay? To save you the pain of me reading that to you, you could pause, check it out, read it. There you go. Win-win. Winner, chicken dinner. Let's get into global variables. Okay? Variables defined outside of any function have global scope. And here we go. Here's me reading. All right. It's kind of funny. I just got to. I have to. Okay. Now reading to you. Variables defined outside of any function have global scope. Okay? Defined outside any function. Okay? So, with that said, I'm wondering, okay, let's just test that theory. Okay? Can I go inside my function and change the value of this? Now, this is local to the main. Take note. Okay, I don't normally do these kind of things for testing, but let's find out. Can it be seen? And I would imagine that immediately it would change. So there we go. Okay. So this is a source file. This is our source code part. We could actually create a second source file if we wanted to, right, through here. And think of it as like two separate documents, right? One document has an information and another document has some other information, right? That first document can't really see the second document, sort of thing, right? Everything's here in one document. It's called a translational blah 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 unit. Not really translation unit. That's what they're called. Okay, so if you hear that word, it's good to know about it. If you don't like saying translation unit, like I don't, that's okay. So, but take note, right? So that's local in main. It's clear that it's not accessible in our function, right? That's pretty clear. Okay? Just wanted to show that. All right, and then we got this concept of global. Okay, so global, it's at the top, it's basically in the header section. It's global through our whole document. Okay, so I'll just type it up. As a matter of fact, I should be kind of removing all this, but I'll leave it for now. I'll go like this. I'm just going to copy this global variable name, paste it in there, go like this, go like that, go like that, go like this, and go like that. This is our syntax, okay? And I'm gonna go like this and like that. There we go. Okay, boom. All right. I don't really need to build it, but I mean, it's gonna build even when I run, so. All right, as you can see, it's obvious our global variable, which is global throughout our program, as far as we know so far. We definitely know that it's global to the main. We definitely know this. We could see this because it's not ghosted, right? It doesn't have a sickly look to it. Okay, but I want to test, is it global to our functions? Is it? Can I change it? Oh, look at that, guys and gals. Look at that. I could actually reinitialize a global variable within our function. Isn't that amazing? Amazing! So with that said, that's great to know. So you could do that. Again, it's global, right? It can be seen throughout, everything, right? Hence global. Okay, I'm at 10 fluid ounces of coffee. No bueno, no bueno! We're just starting too. Okay. I almost need to make 2 cups of coffee. Crazy. Okay, so variables defined outside of any function have global scope and thus are available from any function in the program, including main. So I just showed that to you guys and gals, right? That sentence I just said, I just showed you both examples. Local variables with the same name as global variables do not change the global variables, okay? So what are they saying there, right? So we're going to use this one here. I guess I could use that one. I don't see why not. So I'm going to create the same name. It's the same name. That's what we're talking about here, guys and gals. Okay, I'm going to call this one 13. And I'm going to call this one 23. Okay. All right. Or reinitialize it. Okay, take note of the I have a custom theme that I've done with my Visual Studio. So if you're gonna have a color theme with yours as well if you're using Visual Studio. I'm currently using, obviously it's a community version you're gonna need, right? If you don't have it, it's the IDE that I recommend. There are others that you can check out. It's up to you. Prior IDEs I've used can't even think of them off the top of my head, to be honest. Once I got Visual Studio, I just kind of ditched the other ones. Oh, sorry. I remembered one of them, JetBrains. Okay, I recommend it. It's good. I don't have hate on for JetBrains. You can check it out. Code Blocks. That was the other one. Those are the 2 I tried out. They're free IDs. Okay. Anyways, I have a custom theme that I've set up with my Visual Studio. If you want to learn how to do your own custom theme, I have that set up on my YouTube channel. It's in, and I'll give you general idea. Obviously, it's a playlist. I have it in. What's the name of the playlist? Let's find out. How to YT Live, How to Visual Studio, Unity and Critis streams. Okay, currently has 28 videos. Right, it's in there. You'll find it, and you can create your own custom theme with Visual Studio. It's great. Good times. Okay, so this is a global variable. Okay, and this is a local variable. They have the exact same names. Notice this. Okay. All right, that can get confusing. May make your brain irk a little bit. But at least we could see coloration, and we could tell just by looking at it. Okay, they do have the same name, yes, but really one's a local variable and one's a global. Okay. All right, continuing. Local variables with the same name as global variables do not change the global variables, right? So a local cannot change a global. That's what it's saying, right? This is the master. This is the master variable. There is a way to kind of print these out too. Should I clean this up? Yeah, I'm going to clean this up. I'm going to clean this code up. Okay, except I'm going to keep that. We're going to clean this up. We're going to get rid of this. And kind of start from scratch here. I'm just printing out the global variable here. And then we'll also print out, as a matter of fact, we're just going to print out this one here. And then print out the other one. Oh, look, see? Ha 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 ha. Instantly it went to this one. Okay, there's a way to change that. Okay, it's called using the, I'll show you a little trick. It should work. Unary scope resolution operator. Okay, let's see. I'm going to get rid of this as well. Okay. Cleaning things up. We're kind of done with that, so I'm just going to leave that there. That's good enough. And then I'm going to go like this. And there we go. Boom. That kind of is... I don't know if you know little tricks on working with File Explorer. You could do these little / tricks or whatever to kind of go up a level or down a level. Just little tricks. I look at it like that, the same way. Okay, so that's the trick, right? So I'm actually forcing it to print the global variable. That's what I'm doing there. Simply by just adding the unary scope resolution operator. Okay, it's a pretty cool little trick. I got that on Notepad somewhere, but I actually remembered in memory how to do that. And of course, you know, me trying to find it, because this folder I have with Notepad has 38 files alone. Just one folder. Global local variables. Right, so same name, different values. And I'll just go like this, right? There's really nothing special to it, right? It's pretty much the same code. And then I just have some little notes or whatever, right? Okay, so I could print the local one, and I could print the global variable. Okay, little tricks, tips and tricks, you guys and gals, okay? I'm not doing a 5-minute video on that, okay, just to get clicks. I don't care. If you don't find the channel, then that's your own toughity luckity. Your loss. I don't want to get into it, but it's like, I'm not doing 5-minute videos on how to type a variable name for 1 million views. Man, there's so many doctors and engineers clicking that video. All right. There you go, little tricks. Okay, so I could do this. I could go like this. I could go like this. I can go like this. And then I could go like this. Boom, boom. And you can see the difference, okay? I could build this, run it, and we should receive what is expected, right? Actually, I don't know why I'm printing this one. We already know what that one is. I could just get rid of it. We obviously know it's a global variable, right? So there we go. Control Shift B and run it again. There we go. I should have put the global one above, but that's okay. Just for order of operations kind of thing, because global is above local. And run it again. Okay, boom. So there you guys and gals know, now you know a little trick. Okay, that's kind of forcing it. It's being explicit in a sense. Okay, a local variable with the same name as a global variable hides the global variable, however. Okay, let's try to understand that. A local variable with the same name as a global variable hides the global variable. Okay, so if I comment this out, right, if you noticed, even though I type X value, you can see it's X value that's showing up, right? We kind of had to force the system to, we're kind of telling the system, hey system or compiler, I want you to access the global variable. And that's how we're doing that, utilizing this. Okay. All right. Yes. Okay. So it hides it is what it's saying, right? And it does, right? Even though we have this global one, and then we have one in that's local to our main, but it's when we go to print it, it's just seeing this one. It's not seeing the global one, okay? Take note on those little details. If a function has a variable with the same name as a global variable, the name refers to the local variable, not the global, when used within the function. Okay, so we're going to kind of mess around, I guess, a little bit here. We're going to create a couple of, I'll just clean this up. That's just little tips for you guys and gals. Okay, and we're going to create, just kind of being lazy a little bit here. I'm going to go like this. We're going to do a Y value. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this. Okay. You see this coloration? I obviously have it up here. It's above the main. Anything above the main is global, a global variable. Okay. So we've created two global variables. There's none that are local to the main. All right, we're going to create a little function, another function. I'm going to put it above here, and I don't know what to call it. It's going to be a void function, right? Remember, a void returns nothing. We're going to, I don't know what to call this function, kind of give it a name. Demonstrating global and local variables. I don't know, we could call it local global check. I don't know, something like that, whatever. It's going to get deleted anyways, but there you go. Okay, local global check, sure. And then inside, we're going to create a new local variable. Are we passing in anything? No, I have to actually use the same name. Okay, just for clarity. And we're going to change it. What's y? Y is, we're going to change it to something so that it's obvious it's different, right? So y value is currently 23. Y value in this function, we want to change the y value to 54. Okay, this is kind of learning more about what's happening under the hood with functions and variables locally and globally. Okay, standard cout. So x from my function. So we could actually access x. Check this out. Because it's global, remember? Right? We can actually see a global variable in our function. This is why I'm just going to keep it simple, keep the code really simple so that it's easier and clear to see. Okay, there. See, you can see the coloration. I can tell automatically just by looking at my custom theme. My brain already knows that the program is recognizing what I want and change that to Y. See? Boom. You can see the difference. Quite obvious, right? Global, local. And that's it for our function. We're not going to pass in anything, but I already can tell that my function wants me to make it static. Just seeing them 3 lines there is also telling me that I don't have my function prototype. Okay? And it wants me to make it static. So I will do it. I shall do what it asks. There we go. Number 3 lines. Build. Okay, that's it. Our 2 functions are created. We haven't called it though, right? 1, 2, 3 step. The 1, 2 step, you could do a 2, 1 or a 1, 2. It doesn't matter the order. Just make sure, you get both steps done. The function prototype and the definition. Okay, they have to match too. This has to match. And we're not passing in anything. The only thing we're doing is trying to change the y value inside of our function. Okay? Let's continue. So we're not adding any variables in the main. Nothing local in the main. Or are we? Nope, we are not. Okay, I just want to confirm. We're above the main. Okay, both of them are global. Okay, so we're gonna do this and see what the values are inside the main. Okay, that's what we're doing. I'm gonna go like this. I essentially I should have actually did that. Just so we know. Okay, I'm gonna go like that. I'm just gonna put a comma. And actually, to make things simpler, I'm gonna go like this. Like that instead. Okay, so it's not so messy. And again, remember, it's still line by line, guys, even inside a function. All right, so I'm going to go like this. I essentially want to copy all this, but I want to go like this, and I want to say that we're in int main up here. All right. And then we're essentially returning the same thing, okay? You can see the coloration. Obviously, we don't have any there's none, right? None. Okay, we got no local variables. just two global. The only local one is the one that's inside the function itself. It's local to the function. And then, of course, the x value is being seen globally. Okay? As the same is with the main, right? Because it's global, right? The main can see it as well. Now let's run it. I think that's it for the code. And we got to run our function. So our int main first. Okay, then we're going to call our function. All right, I'm just going to go like this. Okay, when we call our function, whoops, take note, we're going to be inside our function, right? And then back for main. So I'm going to go like this. And I'm going to just say back in main. Okay? And then here it's before function, before call. Okay? Does that make sense? Before calling. Before calling our function. Okay? All right, make sense? I hope so. Let's make the magic happen and check it out. Okay, running. What should we get? I should have created some space. Okay, let's do that. Bop. I'm gonna go like this. You gotta kind of delete it all to be able to do this. I'm gonna go like that. Like this. And that created some space. These are just single enters. Single enter. I want a double enter here. But I think I need another double enter here. So I'm just gonna go like this. It doesn't matter how you do it. We could do a standard end line as well. I could put in two enters or a single enter or a double enter. Right? If I want a double enter, there we go. Okay? I'm going to build it just to create some space so you can see. All right? There we go. All right, here we go. So before call in int main, the values, yeah, we should kind of look at that, right? So let's go globally. That checks, right? We're in the main before the call. Before calling our function, we're in the main 13 and 23. That checks. And I could also tell just by looking at the coloration of our variables that I could tell that the compiler is going to call the global variables, okay? So now we're inside our function. So let's look at our function. Okay, we're inside. And it prints 13 and 54, remember? So, and that checks too, right? You guys following along, right? This is global, and it's printing the value of y inside our function, right? That main point, that one statement that was mentioned, right? This is the part that we have to remember in our minds, okay, guys and gals? A local variable with the same name as a global variable hides the global variable. Okay, so the local variable is kind of becomes in charge. I don't know, like it takes precedence. It takes power. It takes precedence over the global variable. Okay, that's what this demonstration is. So then we get outside, we leave the function, and we go back to our main. Right? We leave the function, we go back to the main, and as you can see, we get the same return, 13 and 23. I could even see that in the main just by the coloration of my variables. Okay, I could tell. That's the color for a global variable. Okay, so that's a pretty good note to remember, right? I like to try to keep these notes here, but there we go. If a function has a variable with the same name as a global variable, the name refers to the local variable, not the global, when used within the function, right? We actually seen that. Okay? The name refers to the local variable. And that's pretty clear, right? Blue is local, orange is global. Drop the A's. Drop the A's. Let's do it. Oh, I'm almost done my coffee. Not good. It's so good. So good. Pretty soon I'm going to actually have to go outside and just dig some dirt out of the garden. I say that because, you know, that's going to be my coffee grounds probably in a day or two. No bueno. No bueno. Now it's just the struggle is going to be kind of real over here for probably a good month. Expecting something good to happen in a month or so, but I'm trying to stay positive. I'm not getting my hopes up, but I'm gonna believe. I must try to believe that things are gonna be better in a month. Okay, continuing. Let's keep trudging forward. So this simple program illustrates a few key and potentially confusing points about local and global variables. I don't really want to get into all this, but I think, you know, it's pretty clear, right, guys and gals? It's pretty clear. All right. Note that the global variable y value was totally unaffected by the value assigned to the function. Yeah, it was again, it's another one of those well, I don't think we're not really passing by value. We're not really passing anything. But the key point here is the y value up here is unaffected. Okay? Unchanged. Right? When we ran it. It's changed inside because this is inside. Why can I not speak? My throat. Itchy throat. Because we're inside our function. That's why. It's just returning the value that is inside the function at that current moment in time and space. All right? And of course, you know, the function call ends and control returns to the main. Yeah. And there we go. That's what happens, right? When the function call ends, control returns to the main. Okay? That statement basically is this. Note that a program is executed line by line in the order it appears in your source code until a function is reached. All right, global variables, a word of caution. In C++, global variables are legal. Okay, legal. Okay? But they are almost never used. And that's true. That's true. There's a way to... I like to, when I was doing C#, working with Unity, and of course you have different scripts, they're called. Multiple scripts you can have. I call it like leapfrogging. I like to share like values between scripts, and you can kind of, there's a way to do it kind of like, I think it was statically, I can't recall. It's so easy to forget stuff when you don't do it for a little bit, but it's just a matter of getting back into it, and it'll be like riding a bike for me. So but yeah, you can do those sort of things. You can pass variables between different source codes, or pass values and share values, essentially making them public to each other. Now that is done through, there's a way to do it. Let's see if I can find, is it in this? Just kind of guessing. I have that in somewhere in my notes here. Let's see if I can find it quickly. What's up? Is this the one? You didn't lose it, did you? No shot. Here it is. Extern double static variable. When I get to that, I'll show you guys that little trick. You can actually have a value in your header. You're kind of declaring it. You're declaring it in your header, and then actually accessing it in the main. And it's also, it's inside the source code. You can actually, it has to be a public variable though. Public in your source code, which would be a second source code. And but you have to declare it as extern. It works. Okay, I'll show you that example in the future. There's not really a lot to it, guys. Okay? It's kind of like sharing something globally from another script or source code. Okay, continuing on. All right. In C++, global variables are legal, but they are almost never used. C++ grew out of C. And in C, global variables are a dangerous but necessary tool. I know in C# I kind of used it like that. One script because you needed to be able to see if something was true, like a Boolean or something. Because the code is kind of different to each other, right? One script has its own purpose, and another script you're creating has its own purpose, but in code, it needed to know if something was true or not, so that it, that's kind of what I was doing with it. It's pretty fun. I'll eventually get back to the Unity stuff, but I want to focus on this for a while. All right, these are necessary because at times the programmer needs to make data available to many functions, and it is cumbersome to pass that data as a parameter from function to function, especially when many of the functions in the calling sequence only receive the parameter to pass it on to other functions. Globals are dangerous because they are shared data, and one function can change a global variable in a way that is invisible to another function. This can and does create bugs that are difficult to find. Yeah, I can see that. Right? That's where const comes in, right? So things can't be changed. But sometimes you want values to be changed. It just depends on what you're doing. Okay, eventually we're going to get into special classes and functions. You'll see a powerful alternative to global variables called static member variables. It's perfect. Considerations for creating function statements. Virtually, that word is actually used when you're creating methods and classes. Virtually no limit exists to the number of types of statements that can be placed in the body of a function. Yeah, you could go crazy. You could go wild. I could have, like, I don't know, 1,000 if I wanted, right? But they're just all standard couts, so you could spit out a lot of string literals. You could. Although you can't define another function from within a function, you can call a function, and of course main does just that in nearly every C++ program. Functions can even call themselves, which is that's recursion stuff again. I have a good example on recursion. I did a recursion it's on it's on YouTube. I'm just trying to think of which playlist that was. Maybe it's in here. It wasn't a Win Forums. One of my playlists, it has it. Maybe it's a short. Is it my shorts? Could be. Not my shorts, guys. Collat's conjecture. Yeah, that's the one. Collat's conjecture. Collat's conjecture is awesome. And of course, it's related to mathematics. So, I love math. That was my major when I was in college. Good times. Calculus, I miss you. Okay, let's carry on. Although no limit exists to the size of a function in C++, well-designed functions tend to be small. Right? Yeah, you want to be a minimalist with your functions. Many programmers advise keeping your functions short enough to fit on a single screen so that you can see the entire function at one time, right? As you can see, I can see this. I can see both functions, as a matter of fact, in its entirety, right? With functions, let's say you have a function, maybe you're doing an int function, right, which is a return type. Maybe you have two sets of calculations going on. There are two different types of calculations. You could turn that into two functions. And the one function, the first function could be what we would call a helper function, right? So, and that's smart to do as well, guys, right? Don't try to have a single function do, like, I don't know, 20 calculate. I don't know, something insane. I'm just being I don't know what to say. Like, I'm just over exaggerating, but right, you want to kind of do that, right? Have one function do keep it simple, right? Keep it simple, Stanley. And if you need to, if it's a function that's doing more calculations than you want it to, break it into two functions. And then you just call that function inside the function. Amazing! Mind-blowing, huh? We'll get to that. Calling functions inside functions. Pretty wild stuff. Okay, that's essentially recursion. It's calling itself. Okay, although no limit exists to the size of a function in C++, well-designed functions tend to be small. I know I'm reading this again. This is a rule of thumb, right? Keep the functions inside the screen, single screen, right? Rule of thumb, okay? Often broken by very good programmers, but it is true that a smaller function is easier to understand and maintain. Okay, I don't know, maybe very good programmers maybe just get bored of doing it after a while. Who knows? I'm sure they know what they're doing. Maybe they just get lazy and they're like, it's not really, it don't matter, you know? You gotta do better. Each function should carry out a single, easily understood task. If your functions start getting large, look for places where you can divide them into component tasks. Right? You'll hear the word helper function. They're kind of like that. Any valid C++ expression, this is more about function arguments. Any valid C++ expression can be a function argument, including constants, mathematical and logical expressions, and other functions that return a value. The important thing is that the results of the expression match the argument type that is expected by the function. Okay, int, like the data type, all those sort of things. It is even valid for a function to be passed as an argument. Wild sauce, huh? We'll get there. Little steps. One step at a time, guys. Okay, after all, the function will evaluate to its return type. Using a function as an argument, however, can make for code that is hard to read and hard to debug, right? It could be one of those not so common things, right? Passing a function inside a function, that's crazy sauce. As an example, suppose you have the functions my double, triple, square, and cube, each of which returns a value. Okay, so I'm going to clean up stuff here, because I want to kind of keep everything, whoops. Cleaning things up. Let's go. I should paste something in chat here quickly. Let's go. I just don't want to make it all about the link. I mean, you could buy me a coffee. That would be so generous. Dun, 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 dun. Thank you guys for being here, watching. Excuse me, let's pick another. Here we go. Rah, rah, rah. Vibes, vibes, vibes. Let's go. Something funny in chat. Let's do that. Okay. And remember, the road to success is always under construction. All right, guys and gals? Whatever you do, whatever you're doing, always give 100%. Okay? Unless, of course, you're donating blood. Okay, so they have here's a wild, I'm just gonna, like, this is wild what they're doing here. It almost breaks my brain a little bit. Okay, check this out. We're not actually declaring any of these. I'm just gonna type it. The compiler is gonna be like, what are you doing, Bob? Okay, so I'm gonna do this. This is just insanity. Okay, let's start with this and my value. Okay, you guys, I don't want to be seeing you do any of this. Okay, just don't. What's next? We're passing in so much. Oh, insanity. You see how insane it can get when you do this kind of ridiculousness? Okay? This is called get fired. That's what that's called. Okay? Get fired. So much passing going along. We're passing my value into cube. We're passing all of that into square. We're passing square, cube, and my value into triple. We're passing all of this, triple, square, cube, my value, all into my double. Oh my God, the humanity. And of course, do we have matching number of open and closing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Too many. Okay. This looks sickly because, in fact, it is sickly. Okay, guys and gals. Okay, not you. The code below. Sickly. All right, don't do this. And plus, even looking at it, you're like, ugh, my brain just broke. That's enough to make somebody want to quit. Okay? Don't break your brain. You gotta keep it simple, Stanley. KISS method. Okay? I'm saying it in a nice way. KISS method. Alright? Alright? There we go. I'm just going to paste that down here somewhere. There we go. KISS method. Let's continue. You can look at this statement in two ways, okay? I already did. You're fired. Oh, that's two words. First, you can see that the function my double takes the function triple, right? Each one of these is a function. We're passing a function into a function. Well, we're actually passing a value into a function, and that function into another function, and that function. Yeah, insanity. Okay? I'm sure the compiler will run it, but first you can see that the function my double takes the blah. I almost don't even want to read this. In turn, triple takes the function square, which takes the function cube as its argument. The cube function takes the variable my value as its argument. Looking at this from the other direction, you can see that this statement takes a variable my value and passes it as an argument to the function cube. I know I deleted it, but that's okay. Whose return is passed as, okay, you get the idea, right? Okay, and then all that gets, right hand side gets stored into left hand side. The left hand side variable being answer. It is difficult to be certain what this code does, right? any experienced developer or higher up that you're working under is gonna really hard cringe. They're gonna hard cringe, like hard cringe if they see you do that. I'm pretty sure about that. Don't quote me on that, but pretty sure. All right, get your free coffee and just start packing your stuff up. It is difficult to be certain what this code does. Was the value tripled before or after it was squared? I was already thinking, my brain was thinking bed mass, ped mass. Which comes first? Who's on first? Who's on second? Is Stanley on third? If the answer is wrong, it will be hard to figure out which function failed. Yeah, no kidding. An alternative is to assign each step in its own intermediate variable. Okay, they're using unsigned longs. Okay, cringe. I don't want to use type def, so I'm just gonna write it. I don't normally. You see people just use int a lot. You don't really see these a lot. Again, unsigned long, unsigned. Unsigned means all positive, right? All positive values. Unsigned long. Yeah, from 0 and greater. Okay, positive values only. Okay, and then we're gonna create my value, and it's gonna equal to 2. We're not even close to the max range. Okay, and then I'm just gonna copy this and cubed. This is actually, so we haven't created the function itself, but we're gonna pass in my value. We're breaking it into parts. Okay. So here this gets recognized because what we're doing here is we're declaring this variable cubed. Okay, right hand side gets stored into left hand side. Right now this is ghosted in the sense because I have not created my function prototype, nor have I created my definition. Okay, that is why. This is just for an example, okay? I don't plan on doing this as, yeah. Right? So this would be a square function. And it's going to take in cubed. Okay, so that is actually, so at first we're passing in the value. Here we're passing in actually that is the value too. What am I talking about? Because the function creates the value, which is a return type. It would get stored into here, which is a value getting stored into here. Okay, I had to catch myself. Okay, tripled. It's a little excessive. Tripled it's called. Yeah, tripled. And the function is called triple. And it's going to take squared, right? I mean, obviously that's easier to kind of grasp it, right, in your brain. Is this correct? Yeah. I'm just kind of copying it verbatim. And of course, I guess I could create these, but I don't want to. But let's say, for example, just as a visual, I don't need to do that. I'm going to go like that. Equals 64. Tripled equals 192. Yeah, it's just being multiplied by, right? It's not being cubed or squared, guys. Okay? That's the result that you want, right? The final outcome. So that's kind of the gist of it. That's what whoever's doing this type of code, that's kind of what they're trying to get at, right? Okay. So that's the alternative, is to assign each step in its own intermediate variable. Man, I cannot talk. Oh, thank you for your patience and understanding, guys and gals. It must be because, like, I'm all worried about not having coffee, like, next week, and sandwiches, and I actually have to eat the carrots that are, growing in the garden. Well, it's not really a garden, but it's kind of a makeshift garden, and it might have some old coffee grounds in there. I figure I'll just kind of boil some water and just kind of run some water through that, and hopefully, next week will be a better week with some garden coffee grounds. It's going to be amazing. Good times. Okay, I need to finish up here. I like to, guys and gals, I should have mentioned this right from the get-go. I should remind myself, when I start the video, that we're doing a lecture. It's a class course lecture, right? That's what we're doing here. Okay, now I do need to kind of speed it up a little bit. Yeah, probably do. I am kind of, still trudging along here. We're still on topic. We're still talking about things, right? We're staying on topic. That's the main goal. Staying on topic. For the most part. But also explaining and showing you guys, all these different examples, right? It all takes time, okay? You don't just twinkle your nose and magically you're a master coder, okay? That takes time. You have to put in the time and the hard work. Again, these sort of things, myself, I'm trying to give you good examples and explain things the best to my ability, so that you guys can understand. Also doing my best not to try to go over and over and over and over the same thing all the time, and just keep moving forward, okay? So that you're learning and understanding. That's the goal. It's for you to learn. I want you to succeed in this. That's the idea. Again, this is a course lecture, guys and gals. That's what's happening here. All right? I'm not doing 5-minute videos on how to write a variable for 1 million views. How many people actually click that? Do you really need to click a video on how to write a variable? Oh, that's sad. Anyways, all right, let's carry forward. C++ makes it really easy. Now, this doesn't reflect on you guys watching, okay? Automatically, you are intelligent people in my mind because you're watching. All right, we're having jokes on the other people. That's what we're doing. C++ makes it really easy to write compact code like the preceding example used to combine the cube, square, triple, and my double functions. Just because you can make compact code does not mean you should. It is better to make your code easier to read and thus more maintainable than to make it as compact as you can. Now imagine what they mean is to do it this way versus the other way. The other way, quite cringe. Okay? And there's better ways to do this. There has to be, right? I mean, essentially, they're kind of like helper functions with each other, right? Essentially, along them lines, right? They're each one is helping each other, so they're technically speaking helper functions. More about return values. Functions return a value or return void. Okay, so it's A or B thing, right? What I just said there. Again, the ones that return, the return types are the int, double, float, bool. A void is a non-return type. Okay. Void is a signal to the compiler that no value will be returned. To return a value from a function, write the keyword return followed by the value you want to return. The value might itself be an expression that returns a value. And it can. So some examples, like let's say, for example, you're inside a function. Okay, we'll just pretend it's an int type. Okay, and I'm just going to call it random func or random foo. Okay, random foo. That makes sense. That's probably why it exists, because funk just kind of sounds like you're swearing, right? Okay, so obviously it needs a return type, and you can return just like 0, right? Boom, this is accepted. The only thing I haven't done is I have to do this just to make the compiler here kind of quiet, right? There we go. Okay, and I can actually build this. There's going to be no issues, right? Because now I'm giving my compiler a heads up. Okay, so you can do this. I could just return 0. I totally can. Now, I meant to explain. Now, I'm going to do that right now, as a matter of fact. Global functions. I'm going to go like this, because essentially that kind of is a global function. Right? So this is something I haven't really got. Actually, we are getting there. I do have a function here to share with you guys and gals. So I need to speed things up. We'll do it. I'll show you how to return the information to the console. Because here, what I want to kind of express is I could call this function and I could call it, right? Let me call it. Okay, so I'm going to call the function, and let me show you something. Okay, so you're doing the right parts, right? You 1, 2, 3 steps. Okay. Okay, first step, prototype. Second step, definition. Third step, calling. Okay, I'm going to build it. Any compiler time errors? No, nothing. Let's run it. Boom. Right? So now you're looking at your console going, oh my God, what happened? What did I do? Oh, the humanity! And then you're running around your house, with your arms flailing up in the air, running around in a circle, screaming like a banshee, acting all frantic and over dramatic and such. And then all of a sudden you're falling and tripping over your shoelaces, even though you're not wearing any shoes. And then you're falling on your face and you scratch your knee, and your cat ran away and it climbed up the wall, and all of a sudden the vase fell off the table onto the floor, and then you're laying on the ground screaming like a Walmart tantrum baby, and going on and on and on, and then you get back up and start running around in more circles. Okay, guys, okay? All right. There's no need to be over dramatic, okay? It's some small little details. So return types. All return types have return, right? It's going to return a value. Okay, the function is doing its correct thing. That is correct. So it's going to return 0. That's what it's going to do. We're not passing in anything. All we're doing, we just created a function and we're telling it to return 0. Okay, no big deal. Easy peasy. So what we do need is we need to create a new variable. Okay, and it has to match the return type. Okay, this is creating where this is a data type now. So I'm going to call it return answer. Let's call it that so it makes sense. Okay, and then I'm going to make it 0. Okay, so that's the first thing we need. The concept of left-hand side equals right-hand side. I've been talking about this a lot. Okay, this is going to be the right-hand side. Okay, it's going to return a value, but that's not going to get printed to the console. Just like you've seen, right? We run the console or run the application, we're not seeing a value. There's nothing, right? It's because we have to do one more simple step. And that simple step is we have to pass that return value into a new variable. Okay? A new variable being this variable. And then once, right? So let me show you. Let's do this. Okay? Left-hand side equals right-hand side. We've declared the variable. Now let's make it equal to our function. All right? As a matter of fact, I'm going to make this a different value so it makes sense. I'm going to make it, maybe make it 15. Okay? Currently, answer is 15. Okay? This function is going to actually change that value, right? We're actually changing it. Okay? So we're passing that value that's being returned, we have to pass it into a new variable. Okay? The left-hand side is what stores the value, right? The right-hand side is just kind of, think of it like the value's floating in limbo in space, and it hasn't been grabbed or caught by anything, right? The variable is going to catch that value and store it in memory with a memory address inside a container. That container is going to be a die, and it's going to be holding the value that is being returned by this function. Okay? So, but we're not done yet still, right? There's still one more thing to do, right? We've gotten that far. I'm trying to, make this easy to understand. The very last thing we need to do is obviously spit that out to the console. So we're going to return answer. I could just actually call it just answer with a string literal, colon, space. Follow the syntax, guys and gals, and we're returning left-hand side. Left-hand side is what has the value. Okay, we're essentially passing that return value, we're passing it into this variable. Hence why we got to create the new variable. Okay, that makes sense? Totally makes sense. Okay, so let's run it. I could just end it like that, or I could go like this. If I need a new, let's say I needed a new enter, I could just go like that. Okay, that's simple. However, you're the line coder, you can type your code however you want. If you want your end line at the end, that's fine as well. Let's run it. Let's go. Let's go. And yes, the answer is 0. Well, it's 0. That's why I changed this to 15, right? This is the initial value that's being held by this variable. Okay, in memory on the stack. It's a die holding the value 15, but then we get to here, the function, we go into the function, it's returning 0. So now we're passing 0 into that variable. So 15 gets deleted, it gets replaced with 0, hence why we're getting 0. Okay, guys and gals, makes sense, right? Totally makes sense. Now, I'll finish up with this one last. That was kind of a quick breakdown on int. Now it's the same. You can do this. You have to do the exact same thing with if you have a double. Your return type has to be a double as well, right? Or your variable, right? It has to match. Why can I not type, Batman? Okay, just to let you know. Right, but just practice with int functions for now. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So the main point here is that we are returning a value. Yes, we are, but we have to pass that value into a container. Okay, it has to be stored somewhere. That's the reason for that variable. Okay, I'm gonna clean this up. We're gonna what are we doing here? I'm creating a new function. Let's do it. Okay, what is this? Doubler? Weird. Okay, we're gonna have some. I'm just gonna call it doubler. Okay, doubler foo. Okay, changing the name. Of course, I had a typo with my function, but who cares? It's all just for example, guys and gals. If I mess up, I could spell. I'm great at spelling. I could write grammatically correct sentences. I just can't speak and I just can't type. Okay, let's go. All right, so I'm going to create a new function, and it's going to take in a value. Original value. Okay, it's going to take in a value, which means I have to actually fix it up here. And I'm going to do this. I didn't mean to get into this now, but what I'm doing here is passing by reference, okay? That's what this is, okay? I'm passing a value by reference. We'll get into that, guys and gals. Don't worry about it too much. Essentially, what I'm doing is just try not to make a copy. That's all I'm doing. When I pass in a value into the function so that I am not... Copy this so that it matches, and there we go. Okay, boom. And I'm probably gonna go like this, make this 0 again, build. Oh yeah, hold up. Yeah, well, it's saying that because I'm not passing anything in yet. Okay, that's all. I have to create a variable. I have a variable that's going to take the answer from the return value from the function. That's what this is doing, but I need another variable, whether I hard code it or get a user to enter the value. Okay, let's finish. First, we're going to finish with our function. Okay, and we're going to use an if else. Okay, I use brackets with mine. I know it's just a basic if else. I could use a ternary as a matter of fact. We have done ternaries. Maybe we could I'll leave this and we'll continue with a ternary example tomorrow. So I'm going to go less than or equal to. We're kind of hard coding a value here, but that's okay. I could create a value if I want it to update. I'm just going to call it a hard value. And then I'm just going to go like this, Control X. This is kind of a quick way of changing things. And boom. Just kind of mixing up the code here a little bit. Okay, again, this is local to the function. All right, I could change this value right here. It's boom shakalaka, yeah. Okay, if the original value or whatever value we pass into the function, if it is less than or equal to 10,000, return this value. We can do this, guys. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put the 2 in front. 2 times the original value. Okay? So you can do this sort of thing. I could have a long... I could go like this, and then I could like divide it all by 3. You know what I mean? Bedmass, right? I'm explicitly saying that this is the numerator, hence why I'm using the brackets. Okay? And I could go on and on. I could go like this. Just depends on what we got going on. Maybe I wanted to add 100 at the end, right? To everything. Okay, you can do that sort of stuff. I would just create a new variable to do that calculation and then just return the variable. That's what I would do. But for all intents and purposes, we're going to do it like this because it's just a matter of multiplying 2 to the original value. Okay? And then here else, and you can do this, you can actually return a negative. A negative is kind of like a not true sort of thing, maybe a fail. You know, it's just, it works as an argument. Okay, now what they're doing here, they're doing something else. Okay, let me show you. I'm going to quickly explain this. And I'm just going to type it. This is just something that you need to know and understand. Okay, so I've typed all this, right? One, we're inside a int function. Okay, like I said before, in your data type functions typically are for calculations and such for the most part, but you can return a standard cout. You can have that. But here's the main concept or point here with what I've typed. This is something you have to clearly understand. When a program goes into this else statement, whether it's in the if or whether it's in the, I could just go like this and duplicate it. Doesn't matter. So this function is going to either go into the if or the else. It just depends on the value we pass in. Okay? So the point is, when it gets to the return, that's it, right? This is it. This is it. It doesn't matter how many lines of code you have here. I could have 10,000 lines of code. Really what you're doing is wasting memory and space, and you're going to have your boss looking over your shoulder with a really kind of, man, what are you doing? And he's going to be thinking to himself, you can't go there, Bob. What are you doing? That's what he's going to be thinking. The point is, anything after a return is not being spit out to the console. You can't get past a return, okay? The return is the end. But you can pass information before. You can. I could spit out something before. You just can't spit out anything after a return, okay? I know I'm saying spit out, but that kind of makes sense. You can't return anything to the console. That's what I mean by spitting out. Spitting out information. Okay? Figuratively, okay? Not literally, guys. Alright, so you can get here. Alright, so I can Okay, like I could say something right before the return. It's fine. Okay, that's the point. But normally you don't have this kind of stuff, but it just depends on your program, what you're creating. You could add those sort of things in if you needed it, right? Okay. Right, we still have to pass in an argument, and I have to finish here. Okay, so how are we passing in? Are we hard coding or are we getting a user? Okay, user input. Okay, cool. So I'm going to go int. Is it the result? Hold up. Yeah. Okay, I already have that variable, but we need one for the user. Okay, and user input, I'm going to call it. Okay, and then we're going to, I'm just going to cut this, and I'm going to one line it. There. Okay, and also make it 0. Whoops. Delete that. There we go. Okay. All right. So this is what we're passing in, this value here. Okay, there. And that's going to get rid of that error. That's what it's saying here. This is good for you guys and gals to see what's up. So you can decipher and debug your own code without having to, like this is an easy fix, okay? Without having to result to wasting time searching on the internet or whatever, okay? It says this is the function name, and then it's saying function does not take 0 arguments. What it's basically telling you is that your function takes something. It takes more than a 0 argument, right? Because we've actually created the function, right? We're passing in a value, right? We're passing in a value. That means our function takes an argument. Okay, so that's essentially what it means. So I'm going to go like this. We're going to build it. I'm going to get rid of it. Gone, right? So if I cut this out, Control X, build it again, that's going to come back, right? You see? We have to pass in something. I could hard code a value. Again, I could do that. It's still passing in an integer, right? The data type has to match too, right, guys? All right. Problem solved. Okay, so now we're almost done here. This is what I call a user prompt. Okay, user prompt. And then something like enter a number between, I don't really like making these things too long, but inside your string literals, you could use commas. Okay, if you noticed here with my hard-coded value, higher than, even with 1,000, right? You don't put commas. Okay, no commas. All right, just as a heads up. Okay, with the actual numeric value. All right, whole numbers. Where am I here? Okay, it's like this because the program's telling me that I'm not done above. Okay, I'm missing information. Enter a number between 0 and 10,000 to double. Okay, it's a doubler function, but we don't really need to say that. So good enough. Okay, I'm not gonna put an enter because I want the cursor in the console to be flashing right here. Okay, now we have to store that value into our variable. Okay, whatever the user enters in console, we need to store that, pass it back into the variable. So we're doing a cin, that's a passing in value. Cout is for talking, spitting out information. Cin is for taking in information. Okay, accepting information. Make sense? All right. And then let's see, before doubler is called, so I guess we're gonna be doing a before and after, I guess, just for visual sake. Before function call. Okay. Before function call, I'm just going to go like that. And then we're going to return, what are we returning? Input. Okay. Do I need a new line? I got one there. Oh yeah, I'm going to need one here for sure. Definitely one there. We're going to go like this. You can put your enters before. See, there's no enter here, right? So that's why I have to put a leading new line. Okay, guys? That's what that's for. Okay, and then we're going to lead again with a new one. And we're going to say user input. We're just going to go like that. User input, and then we're going to return whatever value that is, and then we're going to return also whatever the answer is. So I'm just going to go answer just so it's clear. We're actually, I don't know why it's doing it. We can't really do that. We have to do that after. Well, yeah, I guess it would be hard-coded. Yeah, oh yeah, I see. Yeah, that'll work. It'll be fine. We're just gonna see whatever is, right? Remember, code is run line by line, and also the other thing to remember, guys and gals, is that the compiler will spit out the most current, recent information that is stored in memory at that moment of time. So when it gets to this line, it's going to access memory during that time frame and return that value. Okay? So we're passing in information, we're returning information before the function call, right? Essentially. Okay? And then I'm going to do the same thing. And then I'm just going to call it after. I'm just going to go like this. Okay, I'm replacing it. Okay, so user enter part. Accessing the information before the function. Okay, and this is after. All right, makes sense? Let's go. Build it. And let's run it. So what are we going to run? We're going to enter in. So let's run it. Okay, enter a number. Enter a number between 9 and 10,000. Okay. 9,000. Okay, before function call, oh, I needed a space there. Before function call, user input is 9,000. The answer is 0, right? The reason I say that is because right here, return answer is 0. It's before the function, right? After the function call, we get into the function, right? Obviously 9,000 is less than and not equal to. There's two checks being done here. Take note. First it has to check for the less than, then it checks for the equal, okay? Or vice versa, or just depends, okay? Essentially just think of it as doing two checks, right? So there's extra processes happening under the hood, okay? Take note of that. A lot of times I'll just go just less than, okay? And then maybe just increase my max number by 1, all right? Because then we're guaranteed to be less than 10,000. It's a little trick, okay? I'm just going to close this. Now that I changed that, right? So now it's only needs to do one quick check. This is actually faster. In milliseconds, microseconds, or whatever, time is money. Okay, so I'm going to enter 9,000 again. Okay, I should have actually entered my spaces, but whatever. So the answer is 18,000. Okay, function works. It went right into this if because our answer is in fact less than our hard value. Okay, so therefore equals is going to return 2 times the user entered value. All right, drop the yays. Drop the yays. So what I need to do here to fix that, it's an easy quick fix, guys. Just put a space, or I can go comma, okay, comma space. That works as well. We're gonna build that, and let's see, do we do another one? What? Double, that's not doubled. Okay, let's test it for another one. So that's part of programming, guys and gals. You want to test your if and your else. You want to test both of them, right? So let's go 10,001. Okay, and run it. Okay, our answer is 10,001. 0 is correct because that's the initial value, right? Remember, the compiler is going to return the most recent stored value in memory. Okay, at this current moment in time, return answer is 0. That's why it's returning 0. Okay, and then we get into our function and we actually update. So we get into our function and we update that value and update the value that's stored in memory at that exact same location. Remember, this return answer has the same memory address. It's not carrying its house around anywhere. It's wherever it is and on that block, that's where it lives. Okay? The only thing being changed is the value inside the container. Okay? And then we get the return of -1. And then -1 basically, error, wrong answer, something to that effect. Okay? We could change it to be something else. But a -1 just says it'd be kind of like wrong, incorrect input sort of thing, right? That is it. I'm going to leave it at that. Maybe we'll do the ternary. A ternary would be really quick inside here as well. We could do that, but I'm going to finish up. Normally I'm done by now, but it looks like my kid's doing homework from home today. So there you go. There you have it. Yes, all right, build that. There we go. Let's go. Turn it up for Margaret. Much love, Margaret. And that is it. Guys, gals, I hope you appreciate the effort and the time that I put into these videos. They are time consuming and they do drain the energy quite a bit, but you guys, now with that said, I want you to know I enjoy doing this and doing these lectures, classes, and that for you guys. Again, you guys watching, you guys are my motivation, my drive to keep going and doing this. A big part of it, I do enjoy doing this, but I also I enjoy helping you guys learn and grow and understand. If you're new to learning the language of C++, it's great to have you. Much love, brother, sister, whoever you are, wherever you are. Have an awesome rest of your day, evening, night. That is it. Johnny with Whiskey Tango Sharp. coding here. I'll see you in the next live stream, or not live stream, or just video in general. We'll check you guys out later. Have a great day, evening, night, and take care for now. Peace!
Baby, I don't understand this. You see